It's a magical world of crossovers today. And every industry is coming together to celebrate each other, which is the most beautiful part of today's crossovers. Well, I have somebody who's successfully crossovered between industries, not just one or two. I think she's dabbled between 3 industries, if I'm not mistaken: Tamil, Telugu, and now Hindi. And her latest release, Farzi, has been celebrated and has become the most loved and watched show of 2023 already. Well, without further ado, welcoming Raashi Khanna in conversation with me only on Gulte.com. Gulte, yay! So thank you for doing this for Gulte. Of course, it was long pending.
Yes.
I have been told, like you said, that you've dabbled between so many industries. And I've been told that, of course, you are an extremely studious child, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
How did acting happen then?
So I was the school topper, I was the university topper, I was the girl nobody would look at, who'd always be in the front bench. And I'd never thought of acting because there's no guru, there's no godfather, there's nobody remotely around films in my family. I think it was destined for me and I just accepted it with open arms. And now when I look back, I don't think I would have wanted to be anything but an actor.
But when you're so studious, it also becomes increasingly difficult to convince your family for a job that's not even considered a profession, honestly. Let's be honest. In our middle class homes, they don't think of acting or art as a necessary profession. It can be a hobby, passion, but not a profession. How did you convince your family?
I think my family never questioned my choices, firstly. My brother was very particular that anything that I do in life, I have to give it my all and there's no reason why it'll not work out. That's the kind of thinking I grew up with. And that's why I probably was very hard on myself from the start. Even with studies, I gave it my all. I went to the best college, which was listed to me that you have to get here because you're from a middle class background, you have to make your life. And when I decided to be an actor, my parents were, there was never a conversation where they were like, are you sure? They were like, they just asked me, are you happy doing this? Okay, then just do it. So it was never like, oh my God, where'll the money come from? Will you get work? Will you not get work? That was never the question, because also somewhere slightly my brother was always supportive that, okay, chalo, even if this doesn't work out, I will be there to take care of you, but do what makes you happy. So that kind of support, if you have in a family, you can just do whatever you want. So I was very lucky like that.
How did the first break come your way?
So when I started modeling actually in college in LSR, there was this girl who was following me around and she said, why don't you become a model? We are from this elite modeling agency. And it was one of the biggest agencies at that point. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, they want me to be a model and all. But I had zero confidence. I didn't know if I could ever face the camera because I was a very shy girl. And I thought, okay, let me just start modeling. Eventually, Vani Kapoor, she's one of my closest friends. She wanted to be an actor. And she said, chal, main ja rahi hu Bombay, why don't you come with me? I want to be in YRF and I want to do this. And she had this vision and she ended up being there.
Wow. Yeah. Vani is a very good friend of mine.
Yeah. So she said like, listen, I want to go and I want to become an actor. You come with me. So I was like, and there was a summer break. So my parents were like, yeah, go, you have fun. My father was very happy that she has to get out of her house and all. I went to this audition through my agency. I ran from the audition. There were too many people. I was scared. Then I had selected auditions, and then for Madras Cafe, I got a call. I refused to go because I was like, why will they take me? I have no background. I have nothing. I don't know if they'll take me, not take me. Let me not do this. I'll go back. I'll study. I'll become an IAS officer. And then the casting director called me again and he's like, why are you not auditioning? He's like, you have a chance. You'll get it. He called me thrice. And the third time I said, chalo, theek hai, abhi izzat dene ke liye, out of respect, I have to go. So I went, I auditioned, I got the film. So that is how I just got it, and I just kept getting work after that. So I think definitely destined.
But in Madras Cafe, you had a supporting lead kind of a space. After that, surprisingly, more than Hindi films, you started channelizing your energies into South, and there you got immense applause, recognition and love. How did that happen? Did it happen while Madras Cafe was on or after?
So after Madras Cafe, I remember Rajamouli sir was casting for Baahubali at that time. They wanted to audition me for Tamannaah's role at that point. They called me from the north. I went and I was like, okay, let me audition for this and all. And then Rajamouli sir saw me and he's like, she's so cute and she's so this, and I think she's perfect for this love story that a friend of mine is producing. So he told me, just listen to the story, Raashi, you're going to love it. Rajamouli sir stays in the same apartment that I stay in actually now. So at that point, he was like, just listen to the narration. Everyone stays in that apartment weirdly. So I went and I met the producer and they said, we have a lovely story for you. And I had this notion that South films are all about singing and dancing. When you come from the north,
Yeah.
there's a certain thing you feel that, oh, you know, south is
The
like that.
perception
Yeah.
is like that.
Yeah. So, but I was stunned because I was like, this is a beautiful love story. And once I did that story, I mean, once I did that film, I was welcomed with open arms in the Telugu film industry. And then films just kept happening. And then I went to Tamil, and then I went to Malayalam, and I was like, this is amazing. Like, you know, what more can I ask for?
Raashi, so Rajamouli sir is the one who actually guided you.
Yes.
But you've never worked with Rajamouli sir.
No, I haven't, but I've always told him, sir, please just cast me in some of your film. Any film, but just give me one character. He laughs, or he's like, yeah, sure, we'll collaborate in the future sometime. I hope that happens soon.
But I have to ask you this, that, you know, when your first film released, it became a monstrous hit.
Yes.
You know, and then there was like a lot of love for you. There was a lot of anticipation for you, and then you started doing films and you worked with some of the biggest actors, whether it's Junior NTR, whether it's Vijay Deverakonda. I want to know, Dhanush, Naga Chaitanya Che. I want to know that with all of them, what kind of working relationships did you have? Like, do you consider any of them like buddies where you can like call them up and like speak about anything random?
I think all of them are very welcoming and very friendly, but I feel what happens with films is as you keep moving on from film to film and they keep moving on, it's very difficult to stay in touch.
Yeah.
Because also South, there are not too many parties and get-togethers like there are in the North. So we don't end up meeting a lot. So that sort of fizzles out. But I know I have the comfort to pick up the phone on any one of them because there is a camaraderie that we share. You can call it friendship, you can call it professional friendship. I don't know how to explain it. But there is this comfort zone that's always there. But yeah, definitely there are no 3 a.m. friends for sure.
Yeah.
But there's friendship and there's camaraderie. Yeah.
But who do you think were you the closest to while doing any of the films?
I think I bonded with Venkatesh sir a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, Venkatesh Daggubati, he is such a spiritual man and I used to have so many conversations with him. I remember even with Che, when I was shooting with Che, Venki sir was also in the film.
Yeah,
I would end up
same
talking to Venki sir more than I would talk to Che also. So I think with him, I saw this figure who I could learn a lot from. And I think he's like my buddy today. You know, like Venki sir, I just call him over anything, you know, and talk to him. So I think for me, he's somebody who's very close to me.
But Che is anyway somebody who talks like...
Very less.
And he keeps telling me that, you know, I don't want to do interviews with you because you will make me say things which eventually will put me in a lot of trouble. I said, no, yeah, I'll not put you in trouble. One thing that I love about Hyderabad is the people. Of course, the food is amazing, but other people, like people are so welcoming. Their industry is very united.
Yes.
The industry is actually one industry where everybody comes together for each other. Sukh dukh ke time, you know, in every kind of space. Do you miss that a little bit in maybe the Hindi film industry? It's a little... Sab apna apna dekh rahe. It's not like anybody is like going out there to pull anybody down. Sometimes that happens, but that happens in every field. But I feel that the kind of mutual respect, understanding and unity, do you miss that sometimes here?
See, I think in the South, majorly that's also there because they're also related. A lot of them are related to each other. A lot of families are related to each other. So they're always united. Like one family has some 13 heroes. So they're all related. They don't have a choice but to be together. But no, of course, there is a lot of respect that all of them have. And even if they're from different families, they do look after each other. Yeah. Especially producers also are very nice to each other. They don't try to kill anyone's film. They make sure that, you know, every film should rise. Every film should do well, be it small, be it big. There's no vengeance. There's no negativity around it. I don't know how much it is there in the North at this point because I see it from a very... Because I've only debuted in, say, like I've done Rudra and I've done OTT releases. Now with Yodha, maybe I'll understand how it works here. Do people really come together for each other? All I know is that they socialize a lot here, which probably works for them. But South, there's no socializing that happens, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
And I've been told that they are partying.
I don't know if they party a lot. I mean, I have not seen or I have not been to parties. I don't know if there are too many. But here it's all out there, right? Like here everyone parties and everyone does all that. So there's always this pressure. But no, I mean, they're both different industries. And of course, there's a little more unity in the South for sure.
But one thing that actually happens, I've heard from so many actresses, especially who have worked down there, is that there's a lot of body shaming that happens. And if some of your films back to back don't work, then there's a certain prejudice that is there. Like people are called the iron leg, and that has always happened with a lot of these actresses.
I think maybe they don't voice it out in the North as much, but that sentiment is there here also. And body shaming happens across. It's not necessarily South, but it's everywhere else. But I think South is more open to you. Even if you're chubby, they'll accept you. I mean, there'll always be people who say negative things, but even with my first film, I was a chubbier version of me. They love their women chubby also. Like if you're too thin, they'll not like it. So I think every place has their own image of how a woman should be. You cannot please everyone, but I feel body shaming is a very universal thing.
But have you ever been on the other side where you've heard something really bad spoken about you or your body type?
Yeah. I mean, of course, I've faced that. Like when I was chubbier, they were like, "Why is she even an actor? Because an actress is supposed to look a certain way." I didn't blame them also because I know that is their perception. Now, what can I do about it? It's not like I got affected and decided to be fit. I wanted to be fit because I thought this is the best way to be. I want to be the best version of myself. So it's not because of that criticism. But of course that comes in. Now when I've lost weight, they're like, "Arey, your charm is lost. Arey, you were better off like that." I'm like, "Yaar, tum to kisi cheez mein khush nahi ho," you know? So I'm like, I just have to be the best version of myself. And of course there was body shaming that I faced. But I think I sailed through it pretty well.
But did it ever come to a point where initially when it happens now, because you're not from the industry, you don't have that pedigree, so it does bother you? Like hits, flops, comments do matter to you, right? Sometimes even when people are from the industry, they're not ready for that kind of hatred and toxicity that's spit on them. Did that ever bother you?
I think I came at a time where there was no Instagram. So there was no Twitter, wasn't like booming. So for me it was easier because even if there was negativity, it would never reach us. After a point, of course, there's so much of it. There's positivity also, there's negativity also. But I think, so if there's a hit, it'll never go to my head. And if it's a failure, it'll never go to my heart. That's just the kind of person I am. You'll see me very steady as a person despite a failure or a success, because I'll be like, okay, if I've failed, why has this failed? What was my contribution to it failing? And if it was, then I need to change it. I learn from my mistakes. I don't cry over them. Yeah.
But at the same time, tell me something. When you work with actors like Junior NTR and Vijay Deverakonda on a film set, what happens is many a times we do see that when women are reduced to being props, you know. But then you do another thing called Farzi, where you are literally the guiding factor. Like Vijay Sethupathi sir is there, but you are completely helping him find out what is what and what's not. So there are two types of films that you've done. Like you've done both angles, been loved in both. Did you ever feel that? Where you feel like, why am I being reduced to this much? Maybe I should do something where I get a complete proper role.
I think too much of anything is a problem. I've seen women who have done only content and they're like, yaar, mujhe commercial karna hai, mujhe commercial karna hai. And I've seen women who are only doing commercial and they're like, mujhe content karna hai, mujhe content. So I see that we get stereotyped very quickly. Like in the beginning, the major problem for me was to break out of the commercial structure, because I was like, they're only seeing me as a pretty face. See, I enjoy that. But of course, the actor in you is like, I'm not growing, I'm not learning, I'm not doing anything. Why am I in this film?
Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of thoughts that keep running. It's important to keep going, is why we also sign most of these films a lot of times. But I think then that it just takes one film to change a perception. And I was glad to have a film like that. It was called Toli Prema in Telugu. And it was received in a very nice way, where people were like, oh, she can act also. But I was like, I was always an actor. You saw me in Madras Cafe, you saw my first Telugu film. But yeah, I get you. I feel I was one of the lucky ones who sort of got to be on both the sides. But now the Hindi audience is yet to see the commercial side of me. The South people have seen me enough in those roles, and probably that's why they love me in Farzi even more. Because they're like, oh, now she's shed all that and now she's this person. But I do want to also mention that I believe in auditioning for roles, because I remember Madras Cafe, I got through an audition because you feel like you got it on your merit, you know, more than anything else. I auditioned for Rudra because for Rudra, they were like, we need a psychopath and array, but she's a cute face, how will she look? I said, just audition me. I auditioned, I got the part. Then for Farzi also, there was an audition I had given to Mukesh for something else. He showed that audition to Rajan DK, which convinced them that this is our Megha. Because considering my South track record, they would have probably not thought of me as Megha, because they would have been like, arey, sundar lagegi, like it'll take away from the character, will it? But then they saw the thing and they were like, yeah, this is our Megha.
But you are such a regular person in real life.
Yeah. But I am a regular. When someone says, arey, ye actor hai, I'm like, yeah, what is the difference? Because I feel, and a lot of us, even in the South, I mean, because I've interacted with them more, all of them are very chill people, normal people. Like, you know, I feel like you're as normal and I'm normal, and, you know, you make two other actors sit there, they'll also be very normal and chit-chatting, you know. So that, I think maybe that's the environment I've been in. So maybe that's why
And that's great. I think that's a great environment to be
yes.
in. Also, Rashi, when has it ever happened because you don't come from a film family? So what happens is often calls are made and it becomes easier for other people to like get into the industry. To be very honest, what happens? I believe that everybody will eventually have their ways.
Yeah.
But has it ever happened where you've been replaced or where you've been in talks with something? Being in talks with somebody for something, and it's not worked out, and you've seen that it's gone to somebody who's already coming from a lineage.
Not in the south really, because not a lot of girls take it up, and I've not really faced it in the north as yet, because there was never somebody who was being that took the film or took the project because they belong to a certain lineage. I know that happens. But there's nothing we can do about it. Honestly, what is in my hand? It's just, I can just keep doing my work and hope that, people see that, look at us for the talent that we have. There's nothing really wrong also if someone comes from the lineage till they prove themselves.
Yeah.
So that's fine. If you prove yourself and if you're better at it, please go ahead and take it. Sometimes that doesn't happen. That's also, I choose not to be bitter about things. I choose to be grateful for what I have. And I'm like, okay, now this is gone. Maybe there's something else that's meant for me. That's how I live.
But when you see yourself doing a Rudra and now a Farzi and then a Yodha, do you feel that there was a point if actresses or actors, there's still that minute section that has that perception, who sochte hai ki, they are from South. There's still that distinction, and it was primarily huge even 5 years ago, right? If you're doing South films, you would hardly get considered for some of the biggest Hindi films. Today, everybody has changed that, We have a Taapsee Pannu, we have you, we have a Rakul Preet, we have a Samantha, we have a Rashmika Mandana, we have a Nayanthara coming up, and there are so many more. I'm just giving a few examples. Of course, there have been Jaya Prada ji and Sridevi ji and everybody, but I'm talking about this generation. Have you faced that? And do you see that tide shifting slowly?
See, I definitely saw that people in the north did look at us very like south, but now they're like, wow, south, So that shift in perspective has happened.
Yeah.
Probably because of the content, probably also because we are not less hardworking than anyone else. But that's when I said I have an identity crisis, because I am from the south. But I'm also from the north. My heart is in the north, because of my language and everything. But I do get what you're saying, and there is a change in perspective. And I think now with the intermingling of everything, these boundaries will also dilute eventually in time.
Today, there's a huge acceptance towards actors who come from that region into Hindi films. Okay, but we don't see that acceptance maybe for Hindi film actors down south. Do you also see that?
I think the fans down south also love people who basically can speak their language, very nicely. Because I know people make an effort with Hindi here, people who come from the south, even if they have an accent. But their language, they are very rooted in their culture and their language and their stories.
Yeah.
So for them to see a north guy would be sort of an alien for them, an alien concept. I'm not saying it's not possible. Of course it is possible. But I think it will be a little more difficult. See, we girls are from the north. We've already made our way into it. So I do hope that in the future there will be this place where, even a Shahid for that matter is doing a Telugu film or a Tamil film. Yeah, why not? But I think for that filmmakers have to be open to casting them, which I don't think is their objective at this point. But you never know. Like, we didn't know that we would be in this place 5 years before this, So I think anything is possible. Yeah.
Who from the South industry among the women or the heroines do you think, would you call your friends or like?
See, I am in good terms with everyone. I meet everyone very nicely. There's always this thing that, okay, something releases of Sam's or of Kirti or, of Sai Pallavi. We always contact each other. We're always in touch with each other that, oh, I saw this of you. I loved it. Or some of Sam's scenes made me cry. I told her, oh my God, you were brilliant in this. Or Kirti Suresh was really good in Mahanati. Or Sai Pallavi, the kind of films she chooses, the guts that woman has, So there's a constant appreciation that happens, and it genuinely comes from the heart. It's not like I'm trying to be in touch with, you'll not get anything out of being in touch. It comes from this genuine love for the craft, that I loved you in this, and I think you were brilliant in this. So there's a sense of love we all have and respect that we have for each other, but they're not necessarily friends I'll call up anytime that, oh, I'm chilling, come with me, chill with me. That doesn't really happen. Yeah.
But when you talk about Sam, we've also spoken, of course. I just want to know that there was this time when, of course, she had a breakthrough.
Yeah.
And then soon after, she's gone through a lot in her personal life. And right now, especially because of the medical thing, Thankfully, she's doing really, really well, and touch wood, she's a
Yeah.
brave, brave girl. I always say this, and she keeps telling me, she watches all those interviews and she tells me, you ask about me in every interview. And I just feel that, I want to, she's given out so much love to people around her. She's such a warm human being. I just feel that she gets to feel that love when she really, really needs it.
Yes.
Now is the time when she, of course, needs it. You know her. You've known her for so long. When that news came out, what was your first reaction to it? How did you react to it?
Firstly, we all were bewildered where she is because she hadn't spoken about where she had disappeared in the middle. And I remember checking with, I sent her a text, I sent my managers a text, I said, where is she? Is she okay? Because I thought maybe she's emotionally going through something, is what my thing was. I didn't know there was a health issue, there was a health scare. And when she came out of it, I remember calling her also, and I remember messaging her also. And I think even after the news came out, see, some people, you feel for them, where you feel like, oh, she's suffering, but I think I am also suffering in a suffering.
Yeah.
That I don't want her to suffer.
This is exactly.
Yeah, that you want
what I feel.
them to be loved, and you want them because they've given so much to people. Like, all that should come back to them. And I just felt it was very unfair for, I felt that she didn't have to go through this. Like,
Yes.
that's what I felt. Like, I was like, why? But why? And there were times that randomly I would keep messaging her. I hope you're fine. I hope you're fine. And she would keep telling me, yes, I am fine, I'm okay. Because that's the girl she is. She keeps working hard. But yeah, I hope that, it's amazing how she's just come out of it and she's still fighting her battles and doing what she's doing. Like, she's inspirational.
I think that she is the voice of so many people out there who are waiting to raise their voices, and she does it for them maybe, and she gives power to those people. Like, genuinely, I'm saying this because like you said that, you suffer in somebody else's suffering. I remember this stupid comment that had come out when she went for the Shakuntalam trailer launch, and some news portal had actually put out something really ridiculous about how she's looking and whatever. I felt terrible as a journalist. And her response was so respectful. But in my head, I didn't have a respectful response to that, to be very honest. These keep happening. How do you react to these things?
See, I mostly don't react to things because I know that they're only doing it to get your attention, and it doesn't necessarily change people's perspectives, is what I feel. I want to talk through my work or talk directly to people about what I feel like. I feel personally, see, for her, she had to do it. For her, she had to, because of all that she's gone through, she didn't deserve that shit coming.
Exactly.
So that's why it boils your blood that, you want to do this. But their whole purpose is to do that, right? They want to trigger you, so you give them importance. You just need to know which ones to react to and which ones.
And I loved her response.
Yeah.
The way she gave it.
Yeah.
It was so good. It was like
yellow.
it was like chaddar mein lapet ke, the thing which we say.
Yeah.
But when we speak about Farzi, Sunny's story cannot be complete without Megha.
Yes.
Michael's story cannot be complete without Megha. And of course, Megha and Megha's mother's story cannot be complete without Megha. I loved you in Farzi. I loved the show. I think Raj and DK have done an incredible job. And it's not just about me. I think whoever has watched it, all of them have had such lovely things to say. Of course, this was not this. You could have anticipated it, but not predicted it completely. How do you take the response to Farzi?
I am incredibly humbled. I am overjoyed. In fact, today I figured out, I think I told you that IMDb has put me as number 1 on some popularity list. I'm like, what? Is this true? Because I was like, this is amazing. But Farzi is something that has been giving, and it's been 10-12 days after the release. But it's just, the love is just pouring in. It's not like a film, it releases and 2-3 days people are into it and then they forget about it. This is a show which is like lasting, and it's lasting. So I'm very grateful that I got the opportunity to play Megha. But I think the best thing about Farzi is that every character is perfect for that role, And they've done justice to everyone. Raj and DK are those people.
Absolutely, I agree. There are very minute scenes where Vijay sir's character and Shahid's character come face to face. But you are the one who's the chain between the two characters in major ways, right? Especially in part 1, and I'm pretty sure it's going to continue in part 2. I want to know, how is it working with both of them? How different are they when it comes to their processes?
So the process that Sethupathi sir has, he didn't let Hindi be a language barrier to him. He learnt it. he added more stuff to it. Knowing that he'll have to learn extra, he didn't care about that. He was just, how can I create the scene? Okay, let's do this. Let's add this. He's a very secure actor because he's like, okay, if I'm shining, I want you all to shine with me, you know. So he's like, yeah, so he's like, ye dialogue tu bol. Like, you speak this dialogue, or it'll be nice if he says it. I'll do this, or I'll give. And very few actors do that. Most of them just want to take all the lines, you know. But he was that person who's like, I don't care. I just want this scene to be the best that it can be. With Shahid, it was a completely different experience because with him, he came as Sunny. Like Sethupathi sir came as Sethupathi, became Michael. He came as Sunny. He was Sunny on set. He would behave like Sunny on set. So I automatically became like Megha with him. So his method and my method was a little similar because we would get into method acting. You know, we would start reading lines like there are dialogues. So it became very easy working with him. So I feel like both the actors have their own positives and it's great to know both their methods because I learned so much.
You know, Vijay sir, many people are actually like a little scared or just intimidated by his aura.
He's such a sweetheart.
Set, I want to know, is he like the funny person or is he like a little serious?
So he has a sense of humor which is a very, what do you call it? Which is dry sense of humor. Where you will know it or you won't know it because he's very intelligent. So he'll just throw lines and you'll be like, you'll start laughing. People won't understand kya bola, like, you know what happened. But he's the most darling person and even if you meet him, he'll meet you very nicely. There's no thing that I am Vijay Sethupathi and I'm this actor. It's just like, hi, how are you? What are you doing? How's your life? And the best part is, 6 months down the line, if you meet him again, he'll know about your life, about what you've shared with him, you know? And he meets so many people. So I think that's something, and even on set, he's very chill. He'll sit in a corner. He doesn't care about which chair, nothing. He doesn't care about the shed. He'll just sit somewhere. He'll have his biscuit. He'll be like, like, he's a very giving person. And I love that about him. He's so normal. He's more normal than normal. Yeah.
What happens in part 2? This is what the world... Do you know?
I don't know, yeah. Honestly, I don't know what will happen. I mean, I've just asked Rajan TK sir to give me more action because I'm like, now just make her stronger. And Raj sir told me, yeah, we will. I said, okay.
Because he presents women in a very good way. And Samantha's role in The Family Man too. And the kind of response it got was also because of the way it was written and she was portrayed. But I want to know, do you already have like a fair idea of what is going to happen?
I can't see.
You don't have to say what it is. Do you have a fair idea?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so whatever I told you, is that gonna...
Maybe not. I think there are a lot of speculations and there are a lot of... That's amazing because we'll get so many ideas. But I have a slight understanding of what they want to do. But let's see, you never know with Rajan TK.
But with Yodha, how did Yodha happen? Because you've straight away gone to Dharma.
So it's so weird.
You know, the Dharma zone completely. And
so, you know, when I was growing up, for me, it was YRF or Dharma. You know, Dharma film, oh my God, glossy and like lovely and films. And I never thought in my wildest dreams because I thought Dharma, let's be, like if I'm being honest, it's you will see a lot of people from the industry already in Dharma, right? So you feel like as an outsider, will I be able to make a space? I never even thought of it. I thought it was beyond reach. And one day I just get a call and they're like, so this is a Dharma film, this is opposite Siddharth Malhotra and we are sending you the script. You just tell us what you feel. I said, are you offering this to me? Like they're like, yeah, we are offering this to you. I'm like, what? Because I've never met anyone from Dharma. I don't know anybody. I don't know. So I was literally like, it was a pinching moment for me. Like I had to do nothing and it just came to me. You know, like sometimes you're just wondering where is life taking you. But I think that's the best thing that could have happened because Dharma will show the commercial side of you. Now I'll be able to balance, you know, the content side of it and that glamorous side, which because everyone wants to be a Dharma heroine at some point. The only thing I probably didn't do in that film is wear that sari. You know, that hawa mein. So I said the next Dharma film you have to give me, I'll just wear that, you know, Georgette sari and I just want to do a song in that. But it was an amazing experience. I mean, what an experience.
Raashi, your career has actually spanned so much in such a great direction, in different directions actually in a matter of few years. I want to know that from every industry, if there are two people who you wish to work with, like hero or a heroine, two people you want to work with, share screen space with, who are they? And two directors from every industry who you want to work with.
Okay, so I'll start with Telugu.
Okay.
Mahesh Babu sir, and Allu Arjun are the two actors I'm going to work with, for sure.
And you have not worked with them yet?
Rajamouli sir I haven't worked with. And Trivikram sir I want to work with. So Trivikram and Rajamouli. Yeah. And I definitely want to share screen space with Samantha and something. Because I think it'll be kick-ass. If it's like pan India, just put us there, you know. So
Raj and DK, are you listening that there could be a possible crossover there where you just put in Samantha and Raashi? And I think we discussed it last time also. I think it should happen.
yes, so something like that, and maybe Sai Pallavi, because I think she's a very good actor. Tamil, I want to work with Talapati Vijay and Surya. I think they're very good actors, and I'm a fan of Talapati, so with him. Shankar sir and Mani Ratnam sir in Tamil. And Malayalam, I would love to work with Tovino Thomas, Fahad Fazil, and Dulquer Salman. Like,
You've not worked with Dulquer.
No.
It's,
I mean, there's so many people have tried to put us together in a film. There have been scripts running here and there, and I'm like, why are they not finalizing like one script that we can do? In Hindi, I think I'd want to work with Shah Rukh Khan for sure, because I'm a huge Shah Rukh Khan fan. And
the two of us.
yeah, and Ranbir Kapoor.
Oh, lovely.
For sure, because I think he's the most amazing actor we have.
And director?
And director Raju Hirani sir and Sanjay Leela Bhansali sir.
What, apart from whatever you're doing, like Yodha and Farzi 2 is gonna keep you busy now?
So basically, I've just signed a film in Tamil. The details will be out. But there are 2 more that I'm reading, and 2 Telugu films that I've also signed, which the production will probably share.
Yeah, when you speak about the Telugu film, my last question would be that I've been told that the gap between the Telugu films has been a lot. So what keeps you away from Telugu, and you're doing a lot more Tamil films?
No, I mean, see, the idea is to balance everything, and I'm not anti or pro anything. I just feel wherever content takes me, or wherever great content comes to me, I will choose that. There's good stuff in Telugu also coming, so now I'm heading there also. So it's not like I'm abandoning any industry. Yeah.
But thank you so much, Raashi.
Thank you.
More power to you, and I hope that you keep growing in your career in every ways manifold.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much.
I hope that this regularity stays.
Yeah, it will.
forever.
It will. Thank you. Thank you. Hi guys, it's me Raashi Khanna, and you're watching me on Gulte.com.